Vous pourrez aussi la retrouver demain soir dans un document qui lui est consacré, mais pour l'heure, elle nous parle. Björk, le troisième album que vous venez d'enregistrer, vous dites volontiers que c'est un album qui vous ramène à ce que vous êtes vraiment.
Debut in Post, my first and second album were very much Björk leaves Iceland and goes abroad and meets a lot of exciting foreigners. And Homogenic is very much Björk goes back home, and then I don't mean literally Iceland, but home as in myself, and digests and looks at all the things and looks through all the diaries and all the snapshots and all the songs and all the things I've done and thinks, okay, that was fun. And sort of, it's like contemplative, you know, that sort of thing.
La nature et la nature islandaise notamment, on a l'impression qu'avec ce disque, vous avez essayé de la récupérer ou de la transcrire dans votre musique, dans les rythmes, dans les mélodies.
Where I come from and where I'm going. And I think in very much same sense, the word nature and the word techno is for me the same word, except it's past or future. And I have explained this to my friends by saying, if you see a house in the mountain, a little a cozy house, if the monkeys would look at this house, they would say it was techno, it was the future. But for us now, we look at this mountain and we say nature, you know? So I think it's really the same thing. It's not a question if it's man-made or not man-made. I think it's more a question of if you locate yourself in the right point between nature and techno, you are in now, and it's a very, it changes every day, and you have to be part of both. You can't just be only techno, and you can't be only nature. You have to be right in the middle. Very important.
On a le sentiment que tout ce qui est moderne, de tout ce qui est justement le développement des sciences, des techniques, c'est quelque chose qui vous fascine. Est-ce que c'est lié au fait que l'Islande, d'où vous venez, c'est un pays qui a basculé très vite et presque d'un seul coup après son isolement dans le monde moderne, et que c'est un objet de plaisir et de fascination que la modernité?
I think it's not me being obsessed with technology. I think it's more I want to be alive now. In 1997, I'm a European. I want to be truthful what I'm about. I think there was people like, for example, Maurice Ravel, who was mostly influenced by machines. The rhythm, like for example in Bolero, was largely influenced by his father, who was inventing the car. And he invented, I think, the first steam car or something, you know. And that was his sense of rhythm came from machines. So that is almost 100 years ago, you know, and I think we still treat machines like aliens, but they've been around for a long, long time. And they are basically part of us, what we do. It's tools. And I've said this many, many times, but I still believe it's the same as when we first, man found fire, he was scared, you know. And he said, oh, we're all gonna die. But he actually learned to cook it with it and use it in a creative way. And then man found the nuclear energy, and he was scared, and he had the right to be. But now we can do the good things with nuclear energy. We can get a lot of energy out of it. I think we get always scared when we discover new things that it's gonna be more powerful than us. And it's very natural, but I think it will never happen, I don't think. Because human nature is much stronger, I think. I think there will never be born a child without feelings, or sometimes I wish, but it's impossible. Humanity will always win, I think. Don't be scared.
Qu'est-ce qui vous fascine dans l'électricité?
People like Stockhausen and other pioneers could challenge this electricity for audio, you know, and it's very fascinating, you know. I bought a accordion in Italy 2 days ago, just a little one like this, and it's amazing, the chords and the mechanism of it, the decade they invented it. They make it very much around the music that was then. If they would have discovered this mechanism like now, with people listening to music of today, they would have made the chords and the notes and the musicology of it completely different, you know. And I think it's very nice how each musical instrument is not only the invention they are inventing then in science, but also the musical taste of the people in that time. So it's combined, the expectation of beauty and invention is unite in the instrument that is invented every time. And today we have the samplers and the drum machines, you know, and they are making beautiful noises which are uniting the expectation and the hope and the curiosity and what excites us and what turns us on in 1997, and also the technology which is available now. And it's a beautiful marriage.
Vous faites une différence entre un bruit et un son?
Ah, c'est la même chose. Music like all the time, just like for the eye. And I think, again, I have to talk about Stockhausen. But what, like he said, that the audio is the nigger of the world. Because everything is designed to look pretty, like the airports and the telephone, but it's never designed to sound nice. You know, like this room was not designed to sound good. Or a city or a square is not designed to sound good. And people go to a shop to buy a telephone, and I've never seen a person go and say, oh, excuse me, could I hear all these telephones? I want to pick the one with the most beautiful ring. People never do that. They pick the one who look great, you know. But I think there is noise everywhere, you know. And I think what's beautiful with samplers and looping things, and to be able to choose what you repeat is big freedom, because how can I explain this? It's like in this room, this is our environment, and me and you are talking together. So we decide what is the narrative and what is environment, you know. But if we decide to swap the role, so if you go out with a sampler and you sample, for example, a train or a waterfall, and you repeat it very many times, you have a pattern. So it's almost like wallpaper. So you made an environment, and then you can put inside a saxophone or a voice, and that is the narrative. Or you can reverse it. You can sample me and have very, very many me around, so that is in the environment. But the narrative is the train in the middle and the waterfall in the middle. So to able to loop or sample or repeat or make a pattern or a rhythm is to be able to choose environment, you know, and which is just as important as the storyteller in the middle. Well, I think I love repetition if it's done with clarity and focus. I think Philip Glass is lazy, and that's why he annoys me. He just found one idea and he used it 900 times. Great. It's like all this pop art. I don't like it. Like this Christo guy who wraps something up 900 times, he gets one idea and it's finished. I think it's crap. I think it's lazy. But if you use repetition with clarity, like for example, we know very well in, for example, meditation or in trance, where you always have the focus, always like this. Always. That is not lazy. That is brave and that is courage. And I love rhythm or repetition or if it's done with courage or awake, alert, not asleep, you know. Yeah, I wish I could talk more with my senses. I wish words are very. They are very. They're like a bad handicap sometimes.
Votre voix, vous la prenez pour vous vous rapportez comment à elle, comme une sorte d'instrument un peu extérieur à vous, ou c'est complètement vous et c'est presque votre identité quand vous chantez?
Well, my voice is something. It's my instinct. It's my impulse, and it surprises me probably more than it does other people. But still, even though I spent 90% or 95% of my time doing sensible, clever things, still my instinct is much stronger than my sensible side. It still goes like this to my sensible side. So it's good, you know. It's like trying to live with two people inside you, and you have to make them both happy.
Vous parlez rarement, vous évoquez rarement l'opéra. C'est pas un domaine de musique qui vous attire ou avec lequel vous avez envie de dialoguer ou qui pourrait vous inspirer?
I think I once tried to learn vocal training 2 years ago when I got into trouble, and I got trained by a gentleman who showed me what state your body is in when you sing opera, and what I realized that the climax of opera was in Europe when we did not believe in our body, and we believed in that in some sort of God, you know, 300 years ago or something, and that the mind was much stronger and better than the body. We were always trying to leave all the body things out, and nature was ugly, you know, and so basically singing opera is trying to sing without your body. It's like I have no legs, I have no hips and sex, and I have no hands. I have just like some higher sense, you know, maybe 2 days a year, like Christmas, you know. But the other days of the year, I would like to be human. I have so much fun being human.
cry, you cross your heart and hope to die.
La France, vous choisiriez quoi comme mot pour la définir? Les 3-4 mots qui vous semblent mieux traduire votre sentiment sur la France quand vous y passez?
I don't know. I like France very much. People I've worked with intimately, most intimately, are from here. And I think they're very French. I don't know though. But like Michel Gondry and Stéphane Setnoui and Olivier Caillard, they're very French, I think, you know. And they definitely have something in common. And if that is French, I love France.
Votre fils, il adore le football et vous ne l'aimez pas. J'ai lu quelque part que la seule chose qui vous venait à l'esprit quand vous voyez un match de football, c'est que vous aviez l'impression que c'était 11 spermatozoïdes en short qui voulaient pénétrer un ovule. Ça vous donne plus envie de regarder des matchs de foot, d'avoir cette image-là?
Oh, I think we are still human. I like it so much. Cute little humans trying to survive, you know. And I love that. I think it's brilliant. And the popularity of football proves it. That's still just what we're trying to get. Men are just trying to break their sperm through that egg, you know. At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Ça vous donne envie d'être gardien de but?
You can't tell. That's all I do. Defend my goal.
Björk, I love you. Merci beaucoup.